Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to what day is it?
Alex,
Tuesday?
welcome to our Tuesday night Sour Graps review of NXT. Okay, I'm gonna need your guys' help today because we always need your support. You're the reason that we're able to do things here. Okay, you guys and your support through super chats and humper chats and subscriptions to Fightful Select. You're why we're able to do things. But never have we needed your support more than perhaps this episode of NXT. Okay. And you know what? I got to take responsibility because I need to do better because I should have known. I should have known we were going to get something that was going to have Alex telling us he was going to quit in our DMs so that he doesn't DM Sean and say, I'm going to quit in his DMs. And I should have been prepared because, quite frankly, I'm out of CM Punk Live journals to read. And I don't think Mad Libs are enough for this episode. I don't think there are enough adjectives and plural nouns in the world to get us through. And I've also just admittedly been slacking on fun gimmick outfits too. I was not prepared for St. Patrick's Day. That's on me. I kind of half-assed it on Valentine's Day. I had my Stan the Linder sweatshirt.
That was good. But I mean, like
this is on
3.5 months ago. It's like 3.5 months ago.
I know. I need to step it up. But the way you guys can help us is by getting in your super chats, getting in your humper chats. You can support us on twitch.tv/FightfulGaming and send us your biddies. Also, just leave a thumbs up on this video. That helps us a lot. And it's like, OMG, totally free. And you can go to FightfulSelect.com and get all of the latest, sexiest, mundane updates on CM Punk that you could possibly get. Seems like maybe some things weren't nearly as big of a deal, but get the details. It's not like the sexiest lead-in to get you to subscribe to something, but get accurate information, which is what is important on Fightful Select. You also get Alex and I doing pay-per-view post-shows and premium live event post-shows, which we will be doing one for Double or Nothing, which no pressure Double or Nothing, but you got to be better than what we're getting at Battleground because this did not inspire a lot of confidence going into that pay-per-view. And you know what? I like an idiot. Again, I'm trying to be accountable here, okay? I haven't dressed up. I haven't had fun outfits or been prepared with any gimmicks. And like an idiot, per usual, I was really optimistic because the in-ring on the show should have been fantastic. We had Tyler Bate in action. We had Noam in action. The women's matches were great. Like, pretty much everything but Dabba Kato on paper looks like a really great call. And somehow, this incredibly inventive company, this creative, they are creative in that I have never seen, with the exception of maybe an ex-boyfriend or two, anybody stand in their way so much. Like, so much standing in your own way. And you know what? You can't date anyone's potential. And you can't book anyone's potential either. You can only roll with what you've given. So this was just not very good. Which is a shame, because all of the talent in it was great.
It's weird. It's like some kind of weird science fiction story where some of the best professional wrestlers from around the world are kidnapped and taken to an island where they must wrestle fantastic matches until the last 5% of the match, where a crazy man who only has bad ideas tells them to do something stupid. And that's what I feel like I'm watching. Noam Dar, Nathan Frazer, Tyler Bate. I feel like I'm watching them as prisoners in a crazy man's game of cat and mouse. Like,
and there's your puns for tonight. Get into your NXT sci-fi puns. I will understand 12 of them.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
But it is frustrating because on the whole, like, this episode was not that much worse than a typical NXT episode that we review, but it is just like A, going into a pay-per-view, and B, when it feels like finishes and stories are punishing your talent when they're supposed to be helping them. like it just gets to be challenging.
Yep. It is one of those things of I just keep I don't I it yep. I haven't missed one of these. A review of the NXT show.
Oh yeah, so this is what I said in the DMs too. I was like,
since
Alex
the beginning of 2.0.
Since the beginning of 2.0, I was like, it's slowly driving you mad, which is, whilst entertaining on the outside, fun to watch. It is a little maddening on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so maddening because because you watch these brilliant talents, and then somebody, their boss, tells them they have to suck. They're not they have to suck, but like they have to act out something so stupid. And honestly, it's horrible PTSD of being in theater productions, being directed by complete morons, and being told, "Oh, you're going to do this." I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, with all due respect, I think it would. We've been talking about it, and we think it would make a lot more sense if our characters did this. Nope, you're going to do this, and then you have like no power to say no to that.
You're like, no human being would ever behave this way, and they're like, right. But you are. So,
right, but you're going to do it. But you're going to do it. I guess Paul says puns tonight. I guess we're doing
sci-fi puns. I already rolling
sci-fi puns, which are all going to boil down to Star Trek and Star Wars, but I'm fine with that.
I know very little about those two universes, except yes, I know this from my dad and some general characters.
Yeah, I can't do that. I literally can't. I cannot force my fingers to do the actual live long and prosper, which I can only do the opposite of that. Which is
this, right? It is that?
Yes, that's okay. You're correct. I can only do this, which is the two middle fingers together and then the two outer fingers apart, which is the inverse of live long and prosper, which is die young and penniless. So not quite as nice thing to waste.
What a heel turn.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible thing. Bizarro Spock is really mean to people.
Yeah, he's got the beard, right?
Yeah,
I know things.
SGS, they got some super chats. Matthew Plus says sour graps causes horrible PTSD. Well, I mean NXT does, I guess. And this, I guess, would, if you don't watch NXT, watching me have PTSD about the show might be like somehow transferable. JB Pringle says extraordinary Alex, charismatic Kate, profound Papa Paul, Elizabeth, Louise, and all the SGS family. NXT was very NXT. Give me puns or give me death. We'll give you puns.
Then we'll give you puns. Yeah,
we'll give you puns.
Cam the Watson weird dichotomy you got yourself in. I gotta be honest, that's a weird one.
Cam Watson says, "Have you guys seen pics of the largest pickle in history? It's a really big deal."
Hey,
love you guys, especially GTFOH. Hope you guys do the original Mortal Kombat or the original Point Break, both classics. Well, I think I could find fun things to say about Point Break, but it doesn't quite fit our.
I also get the flick out of here on the Know Your News Network, which we do every Friday at noon. Yep. No big deal. I need a break from video game ones. We got Super Mario Brothers. That wasn't about Super Mario.
No,
Street Fighter.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Big Trouble in Little China, which felt like one but wasn't. It got weird.
Yeah. We'll get back to Mortal Kombat sometime, maybe in the fall. I don't know. So Talma Valley says Alex looks sad. I am. And Kate's bangs amazing, and they are. Yeah. Alpha Bill says turn that frown upside down, sport. I mean, really, it's not my thing. I'll try.
Turn that frown like into whatever is anger.
Jim Beard says I'm sad Matt Kuhn didn't ask Kate to do a Tiffany Stratton impression, but I am looking forward to hearing the interview.
Oh, it was so much fun. Matt Kuhn, who did the Dax Harwood podcast and the William
Mhm.
Regal podcast. Just a wonderful dude. Had me on his Wrestling with Friends show. And so that comes out on Wednesday. Please tune in. But it was so nice. We're just mostly BSing about why we like wrestling and how we got into it and stuff. So
yeah.
But impressions are a Tuesday night gimmick.
Yeah. Tama Valley saying, whoa, we wondered how HBK would book perhaps his most notable hit, but it came in here. Alex has lost his smile. I hope there are sunny days ahead. I have lost my smile. He did.
I hope they're not, because I don't want to have a double
that is his final FU to our show in booking his own greatest hits. He booked me to lose my smile. That's what it is.
And
you know what?
Now,
I got to respect it.
When you go on vacation, you're going to have a back injury, and then you'll come back and you'll have a hell of a second run. Yeah,
it's true. Okay. So Jambeard says, without ever watching NXT anymore, I feel confident in inserting the Krusty the Clown, what the hell was that meme? And it would fit 100% perfectly at some point during the show, over and over again tonight. It fit over and over again. The first, what the hell was that? Well, we got the 4 women who were in the semifinals of the tournament did green screen promos that were all uniformly pretty terrible.
They weren't great.
Poorly written, poorly acted. It wasn't the best work that any of these girls have done on the mic, unfortunately. But when you see how the tournament was booked, why would you even try to spit shine this piece of shit? Which I don't know why you would spit shine a piece of shit, but why would you do it? Why would you polish a turd?
Shiny poops.
I don't know why you'd polishing turds.
They also just there's nobody that they've given. Okay, so Roxanne, they were like, you have anxiety and you passed out, and then you lost a title defense and 2 title shots in a row.
We're gonna talk more about that.
But I mean, even from a later perspective, what are you supposed to do with these gals? Is my point. Cora Jade is like, I am mean. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Stratton is great. And Lyra Valkyria, once we see what happens to her.
Yeah, Tiffany Stratton is great, and she's already the women's champion.
Correct, yeah.
And that's bad going into a pay-per-view. She's already the women's champion right now. And that's you shouldn't be doing that. That's not a thing you should do when you have a tournament and you decide who is in the tournament. You create the bracket. You decide who wins all the matches in the tournament. Tiffany Stratton right now is the champion. That's dumb. You can make it have there be a tiny speck of I don't know. I'm not sure what happens. Now we all fucking know. It's just dumb.
Well, it's really weird that if you weren't going to have Tiffany and Roxanne on different sides, then it's kind of like, oh, okay, so you had Cora Jade there, so it's going to be Roxanne and Cora, and then they did not that.
The opposite of that, yeah.
So it's very odd decisions.
Cactus J22 says the intro gave me SNME vibes, and I loved it. I don't know what SNME is. But this says more of that, please. I don't know what SNME is. I'm not sure if the vibes are accurate, but I did not love it.
Name, maybe everyone.
Very good.
Nailed it.
Thank you. What I hate is that you start off the night with one of your 2 Saturday night's main event. Okay, there you go.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that comparison.
I also see that comparison, and I think it's great for Saturday night's main event and really bad for an NXT Women's Title tournament because it makes it seem less than to me, which is too bad.
And dated, so there's a reason that was on Saturday night main event
because of the way you have structured the tournament, and because of your own complete aversion to ever booking not you there. Okay. Because of I'm talking to you, HBK.
Horrible booking kid.
the bane of my fucking existence. Horrible booking, kid. You and everybody who you work with, because of your complete and total aversion to ever booking a decent program of heel versus heel or face versus face, we know that if Lyra Valkyria wins the first match, that Roxanne Perez, that Tiffany Stratton's going to win the second match. And we know if Cora Jade wins the first match, that Roxanne Perez is going to win the second match. The only one of these two that to me felt like it was really in doubt, like it, and also, how to say this? Whoever won the Lyra versus Cora was absolutely losing in the finals. Because you put your top two women, Tiffany
on the same side,
Roxanne on the same side. So the semifinals was actually the finals. So honestly, that's the only thing I cared about. And once you know it, they booked it like it was the only thing I cared about. Because Lyra beat Cora Jade in less than 4 minutes. What? Like,
who they're trying to build as a top star, a top heel, nonetheless.
I keep hearing that the people backstage think of Cora Jade as like the next top talent in the women's division, like that she's got it. She's gonna be the thing. Like, and if that's the case, you're doing weird things by having her lose in 4 minutes to, let's be honest, a really shitty backspinning heel kick. Like Lyra Valkyria does a lot of things really well.
Yeah, I
noticed it more and more since you pointed awkward, and it never gets to the right spot. She's hitting people in the shoulder. Like it never looks good.
There's so many other things she could finish with.
At so many other things. Have her finisher be something else, please. I beg of you. But she wins in less than 4 minutes. And then Cora Jade
to a talent who works for ROH. And he's such a proponent of, if you throw bad punches, throw forearms or whatever. Like if you have a bad spinning back heel kick, but you do all these other things extremely well, do those other things extremely well and make one of them your finisher.
And the thing of it is that she's at a point in her career where she is at the PC with ostensibly all of these coaches. And none of them are doing their job by telling her, you do a lot of things really, really well. You still need to work on this. Maybe we can add it to your repertoire later and you got to practice it a lot. But for now, here are your major your major signature moves. And here's your finisher. Let's work on those. Let's make those as good as possible because you're really close to making those perfect. But that backspinning heel kick's not there yet. That's your job as her coach. That's your job as her coach to tell her that, to get that. Anyway, because Cora
also
Jade
your heel is losing in 4 minutes. You're not even doing the lazy, dumb piece of crap thing that they do with baby faces where they look pathetic and they have to fight from underneath. This is your top heel.
Yeah.
Next to Tiffany Stratton, who's on the other side of this bracket, who just got back from injury, who you gave an electric tape kendo stick to, which we're going to talk about in a second, but you didn't even book it like that the right person in that scenario that they overplay loses here in the way that she lost. Like this part was perplexing even for them. Like there are things that I expect for them that I don't like that they do. This, I was like, why did you just go? That did not make Lyra Valkyria look strong. That made Cora Jade look weak and dumb.
I'm pretty sure the point of having the her win in such a way was to do a thing where if she catches you with that kick, it's all over. Look out, Tiffany Stratton. If Lyra Valkyria, but the problem is that kick's not that. It's not the Black Mass. It's not Malachi Black. Here's the other thing. There's so many other people in NXT who have kicks as finishers, and they're all way better looking, way more impactful than hers. And so you can't make it into a one-hitter quitter.
I also feel like, especially with younger talents like this, if you can finish someone, I 9 times out of 10, you mentioned Malachi Black, and he's one of the rare exceptions. I 9 times out of 10 like it better when a wrestler has 3 or 4 different things they can finish you with.
Yeah.
And I'm talking Bryan Danielson. I love it that he might win with a triangle choke one week and something else another week, because it makes it feel like in a match, you're more apt to lose at any given time. So if you have someone with a wider skill set like she does, where you have a few things that can finish, lean into that, because during a match, if you lock in one of 3 moves, it's possible they might lose at any point, as opposed to you have this one move and that's your signature, kid, and that's all you got. And to your point, it's not there yet. It just isn't. So
and she does so many other things
she's
great.
So good. She's
really good. She's an 8-year pro. Like this shouldn't be a thing for her. You know what I mean? And it's anyway, because Cora Jade because she wears black and because she's a heel now, she's also a sore loser, and so she attacks Lyra Valkyria's knee after the match, which I'm sorry, like I get doing the dumbass Cody Rhodes got his arm broke in 3 places, so look at all he has to overcome to beat Brock Lesnar. I get doing that tired ass old storyline for the Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar match. I don't get Lyra Valkyria, how will she ever overcome the odds because Cora Jade hit her with an electrical taped black kendo stick after the match? How will she ever beat Tiffany Stratton? Just fucking put the crown on Tiffany Stratton now, because we already know how that match is going to go, whether or not Lyra Valkyria is injured going into the match. Because you decided to do the stupid thing and do Tiffany and Roxanne in the semifinals. You fucking morons.
Well, even worse than that is it's like, why would you... We all know Tiffany's going to win already, right? But, like, if you had any seed of doubt, why don't we weaken Lyra Valkyria going into this then?
Thank you. That's just really dumb.
Like, it's just a dumb thing. To go out of your way to do it makes no sense.
There's also a good point by Thomas Scott. We already see... Later we see the mysterious hoodied woman attack Roxanne. Spoiler alert. Why not have her do it here too? Like, weaken all the people. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, if you have her do a thing where she's weakening all the women, but she's letting Tiffany Stratton get a straight shot through the thing, maybe she's been hired by Tiffany Stratton. I don't know. There's all these options you can do that might be possibilities. But now
Alex,
we all
like, look at what you just said, though. In the same semifinals of the same women's tournament, you ran the same angle, someone who was an opponent and someone with a hoodie. Like, it's just so lazy of like,
it is.
Oh, well, she's a hooded figure, so the fact that she took out the other person is completely different than an opponent taking her out with an electric tape kendo stick.
Yeah.
It's such a disservice to what you're doing with the women's title. I don't get who comes out looking... I guess this is where I go with it more than anything, because tournaments... I love a good tournament, Alex. You love a good tournament because I love
a good tournament.
Oh,
there's almost nothing I hate more than a bad tournament.
But this
because it could be a good tournament.
There it is.
And the booking made it a bad tournament.
A good tournament. A great tournament. Love a good tournament because you not only, if you watched the show before, I've said ad nauseum, like, you can set up multiple storylines coming out of a tournament, which arguably they did today. However, when I say that, what I mean is you can also make multiple talents look really good coming out of a tournament. Even the person that loses super early on in a more extensive tournament, let's say, if they lose to someone who was a former champion and is high build, but there's an upset or whatever. So I don't think anyone comes out looking better for this because Cora Jade looks terrible now. Roxanne had an anxiety attack, so she's a loser. Tiffany, we already knew, was a top talent. And Lyra Valkyria, like, just isn't... They haven't made her viable yet. So what good have you done in this setup? And my God, what good did you do putting no offense to Indy Hartwell, but she's injured and also on the main roster now. Why the hell, if you wanted the title to end up in Tiffany Stratton's hands, did you simply not have Tiffany Stratton beat Roxanne Perez? It is weird, out of the way.
So everything gets fixed. Like, I mean, I honestly, I think Lyra Valkyria is very talented. I just don't feel like she belongs at the top of
They haven't done the
women's
work
division,
yet.
right?
Like, just,
right.
yeah.
They haven't done the work yet to put her there. It just feels weird. So what you do is that match that Indy got hurt in, that triple threat, you have Tiffany win that match. Whatever the point was going to be before, especially as soon as Indy gets hurt, Tiffany wins the match. And then you have Roxanne like win a fatal 4-way or something on this show to get the title shot at Battleground, and you do Tiffany versus Roxanne straight up, and Tiffany being the champion and Roxanne chasing her through the summer to then eventually get the title back, because that appears to be the story they're telling. When we get to that second match, the one between Tiffany and Roxanne, I will air my grievances about how they are treating Roxanne. But there's so many better options to just get to what could be something great, and they decide not to do it. That's the whole thing for me. This is why it's so frustrating to be watching NXT. NXT, honestly, I believe with the talent roster they have, has the potential to be great every week. And it's bad.
Most
98% of the time, it's bad. But they have the talent to be great. And it's not the talent's fault. It's all the shit around it. The booking is terrible. The writing is terrible. The storylines are bad. Just stop.
Just the finishes being bad.
Making it bad. Honestly, if you just change the finishes.
Like, so often that's the case. Place. I do want to call this up because we're talking about tournaments. Look, I'm on New Japan High. If you watched any of my content this week, you know I am in Zack Sabre Jr. simp mode, unparalleled to any other one I've been in before, okay? But I will say, I watched Resurgence, and not even the G1. The G1 is almost like the ultimate example because New Japan is so tournament-driven, which is fun because a lot of sports are tournament-driven. But even their women's tournament, which ended with the probable winner having a broken ankle that they did in one episode, made more sense. It was more productive for all of the losers involved. Just at Resurgence, and that's New Japan Strong. That's not even like New Japan proper. So it's just it's like you have the opportunity to create your own math. Like, you can make 2 + 2 = 4, or you can make it equal 5, or mailbox. And when you make it equal mailbox, because I can even get away with 5. I'm like, okay, you were close, but you were a little off. But you were in the arena. When you make it mailbox, it's such a missed opportunity because 4 was right there. And it's elementary school math.
2 + 2 = mailbox.
2 + 2 = mailbox is kind of NXT summed up in an equation. And I'm not even good at math, but I am good at knowing tournament booking a little bit. It shouldn't be mailbox.
So Dijak waltzes in, and
Dijak rules. Dijak rules.
He does. Sorry. He does. He rules. And so does Ilya Dragunov. I'm confused about the storyline. I'm sorry. Last week, Ilya basically dared Dijak to torture him until he broke to prove that he wouldn't. And this week he seems very angry that Dijak tortured him for a whole episode. Like, you basically said, I am offering myself up to you. You may handcuff me and torture me with any implements you like, because I will prove to you that I cannot be broken. And he does that. It's almost basically his idea. And then Dijak does that, and he doesn't break him. This week, I don't understand why he's so mad at Dijak that he decides he's going to kill Dijak backstage. It doesn't feel like that. There's why are you so mad? Did something happen between then and now?
It's like, okay, but not like that. You know what I mean?
There
Like sometimes you ask for something and then you're like, wait, not like that. Like if you, Alex, if I was like, say my bangs were errant, it would never happen. But say for some reason, a tragedy struck and my bangs didn't look good. And I was like,
oh, Jesus.
Alex, do my bangs look all right? And you were like, well, actually, they're a little off. I'd be like, why would you say that? It's like that. It's like, give me all the punishment I can handle. He's like, okay. And then he's like, wait a minute. No.
Yeah, that's very good. Ricardo, surname redacted, who's a 27-month member of the Fightful Trace, says Ilya and Dijak became my second favorite feud in Graps. There were a bunch of these little chapters throughout here. They were fighting backstage. They got separated. Ilya Dragunov was being interviewed in the locker room for some reason.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was.
They have a locker room now. Like they built a locker room, decided they're going to do most of the interviews in the men's locker room.
I was like, aren't only the Creeds ever in there? I feel like only the Creeds are in the locker room.
It feels like an HR violation. Like I have a match. I'd like to get changed. But there's cameras in here. But then Dijak comes in and they have a pull apart brawl in the locker room. And then later Dijak at the very end of the show, Dijak comes out and Dragunov attacks him. There's a hold harmless agreement they must sign that is sitting at Vic Joseph's desk. They don't ever do there's a contract signing involving a hold harmless agreement. That's not a segment on the show. But they just have to at some point, like it's like somebody like left a post-it for Dijak. Like at some point you need to make sure you go down to the announce table and sign this little thing just so we can get all the, dot the I's. And so he goes down there to do that. But they fight and there's a lot of fighting. It's good fights. And then they eventually both sign the hold harmless agreement. So we're going to get a last man standing between two guys who cannot be broken. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good match. It's the only thing on the show that I give one single solitary shit about.
Well, as you pointed out, maybe they'll try to polish the turd. So
maybe they will.
I'm so excited for this. This Dijak run has been really fun, and they're gonna beat the hell out of each other, so that's gonna be really fun. But remember yesterday, Alex, when we were reviewing Raw, and you were like, "So what are they gonna do? They're gonna send Cody out there with cast or no cast?" And I was like, "Oh, they'll do a hold harmless agreement." I think they're gonna do it.
I think they are too.
Like, I think they're gonna do the same thing on Raw and NXT on the same weekend.
I think you're right.
Be less lazy. Though I admittedly have less of a problem with it when they're at least on different brands. When they're on the same brand doing the same angle, that drives me the most nuts.
It's on the same fucking show the next night. Like it's the same fucking channel the next night.
Sure, but like
it's just, I mean, all you guys are on an email chain, right? Hey, we're gonna do a whole harmless thing for no.
I feel like NXT feels so separate. Like it would even bother me more if it was like happened on Raw and then SmackDown, because those feel like equivalent products.
Pay an intern a slave wage to watch the fucking product and report back to you.
Well, they can't do that because the wrestlers make what they would probably pay an intern. But my expectations are low on that, considering like 2 years ago they didn't even know when people's contracts ended. So, like for top stars in the company.
Axiom faced Dabba Kato and got squashed. Basically squashed. It was not. I mean, Dabba Kato hit two moves. A very nice looking lariat that Axiom sold the hell out of, and then his choke bomb, and then pinned him. Last night, here's the thing. I feel really bad about this. It wasn't on the rundown because it wasn't in the original rundown, so I didn't see it, so we didn't talk about it.
Well, that's what happens when they change the show 3 minutes beforehand all the time.
Bronson Reed and Ricochet last night on Raw, we didn't talk about it on the Sour Grap show, was a banger. It was great. And Ricochet wrestled that match like with a bunch of points within it that he was like always doing like low drop kicks to the back of like Bronson Reed's knee and forcing him to have to get back up. And as a dude who's roughly the same size as Bronson Reed, albeit with less muscle mass, it is really hard having to stand back up from one knee. There's a lot of muscles that get involved. I get winded. Like, so it like, it's a hard thing. You're making him work for it. Like, there was a good wrestling psychology of athletic little man, giant big man wrestling last night on Raw. And tonight they just said, what if Axiom does all that and then Dabba Kato hits 2 moves and wins? And that was their story. And Axiom has taken much better wrestlers to their absolute limit, if not beaten them. But the story you are telling is him's just a widow guy, so he can't beat the big guy, and fuck that noise forever in hell. I hate it. It's not 1985 anymore. Fuck that shit. Stop it.
The problem is Vince thinks it's 1985, and I don't mean that in a like he's stuck in the old days. I think he literally wakes up and thinks it's 1985. I hated this for a lot of reasons. The main one being kind of what you said, and that Axiom was just a title contender, and you built him up for that to then do this.
Mm-hmm.
Axiom's great. Dabba Kato, God love him, not great. He did a couple moves successfully here, but this is the point of the show where I feel handicapped, because this is where I would turn to a Mad Lib, which is not strong enough.
Mm-mm.
And there's no CM Punk Live Journal post to really be read here.
It's
this is bad.
And then
like, what are we building up Dabba Kato for? What are we honestly building up Dabba Kato for, Alex? Can you tell me?
I don't know. No, because he's gonna have a 2-on-1 handicap feud between two guys who they coexist. This is what they're gonna do with Axiom and the former Scripps, now Reggie, because Reggie comes to Axiom's rescue, and it's Reggie now. He's just wearing the same shit that he used to wear at like Scripps. Like, the mask was ass, but the rest of his ensemble was actually wrestling attire. He's just wearing a vest. In Britain, a waistcoat. That's it, and some little short shorts and some kick pads. That's it. Like, it doesn't look like he's a real wrestler. But he comes to the aid and actually somehow gets Dabba Kato out of the ring, and then Dabba Kato was held back by like 12 refs, so he wouldn't beat up the little guys. But then Axiom doesn't know if he trusts Reggie. So what we're gonna have is at least one 2-on-1 handicap match where Axiom doesn't know if he trusts Reggie, which is going to lead to Dabba Kato getting the victory over 2 little guys. And maybe we'll have like a best of 3 handicap feud between Dabba Kato and two little guys, one of whom is a fantastic wrestler. The other of whom is at least, fun to watch, which I can't say
the Bate Ventura.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh my God, they're going to give us their 2 tropes in one storyline. They're going to give us big guy, he's little guy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And can they coexist in one storyline?
Yep.
All we're needing is 2 women that hate each other and are mean.
All we need is a woman be crazy. All we need is that.
Yeah, or like bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's so it is. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's
why is Dabba Kato beating Axiom? Why is Axiom working with, God love him, the artist formerly known as Scripps, Reggie,
right?
Who, don't even get me started on how bad they did Jesse the Body Ventura, and Dabba Kato. Like, if there are there are degrees of separation between how good they are at this, okay?
Mhm.
And it's not like the good guys putting the not as great guys over. This is like, what are you doing with Axiom? What more do you need to see from him to move him up in the card, move him up to the main roster? What else is left for a kid, a child phenom,
Right,
who is now Axiom,
yeah.
to prove to us?
Ryan Ben says HBK killed off Scripps just to spite us in the SGS. It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Stop complaining that the show is negative. It's called Sour Graps, and this episode sucked.
Yeah, it's a bad episode. It's a really bad episode.
It's not good.
Matthew Plus says, did they write off Scripps in solidarity with the WGA? Writers Guild, so hey, no more Scripps. Writers Guild's on strike. No more Scripts. Get it? And Luis says, oh shit, if HBK has Dabba Kato beat Wesley, I will call the Federales. Just a quick word to the wise. I'm pretty sure the Federales have less than no jurisdiction in Florida, and particularly in Florida. In the rest of the United States, perhaps a little, but definitely not in Florida. Yeah.
Of dorks in the world.
Yeah, dorks. Yeah. Tony D is being interrogated. I don't know. Listen, go to a local community theater and pluck two guys who've read a script out loud before, because wherever they got these actors who played the cops in the scene, Jesus, this is going out on major cable television. Have some pride. This scene was so bad. Tony D was great in it, but whoever was playing the cops were so awful, man.
Well, just when
so
did
awful.
We suddenly have? When are there suddenly legal ramifications for things that happen in NXT?
Well, it's
later in the same episode. We see a woman in a hood commit assault and run away through the arena.
Yep,
it's fine.
Yep, no, it's not even that. It's because he supposedly did it outside at night because there was is this you, Mr. D'Angelo? It's dark. It's kind of hard to see. I mean, I can tell you that is not me. I'm sorry, officer. That is not me. And then other cop who's a worse actor than the first cop comes in and is like, hello, Officer Stewart. Would you please come
Darby Allin was on the show.
There's no...
Malachi Black.
He sounded a little like Darby Allin, but it definitely wasn't Darby Allin. Officer Stewart, will you please come with me? There's some information about Mr. D'Angelo that you're going to want to see. So then he's arrested because of some information, and we find out very soon, while Gallus is standing in green light for some reason, that they're the ones who tipped off the cops. They apparently, Gallus has bribed a police informant to lie about Tony D being involved in crimes.
Listen, coffees, sirs, you're snitches. You're all little snitches. That is not how tag team champs are supposed to operate. You have the belts. You should not be scared of those challengers. But in their defense, they did make a tag team disappear. So,
Jambeard says, I need to make the cop sound like Officer Bar Brady from South Park. Well, I mean, that's not how these guys... I was doing a pretty damn good impression of how these guys actually sounded. But I haven't watched a Bar Brady episode in a long time. He's not on the new ones, is he? because I know because there's the mustachioed.
It's like
Yeah,
one of
but
those.
the new cop is the guy with the mustache, the detective, who's like, God damn it, come on, we're not gonna do it like this. That's how this guy talks.
That's right. Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
I forgot.
But yeah. Hi, I'm Officer Barbrady. Is that closer? I'm not really sure.
But I love
it's
Tony
not.
D being like, what was he like? I gotta take my grandma out or whatever. That killed me.
Yeah.
I think he meant Linder.
Mm-hmm. No, Linda's definitely a cab. So I think this is such a bad thing. The whole thing is bad. But they're talking about how they're admitting on live television to having bribed a police informant to misinform on Tony D because they're scared of having a match with Tony D and Stacks. Then out come the Creeds, and then the lights turn from green to blue. And then they get in the ring and they have some of the worst dialogue I've ever seen anybody given. Like they say, hey, you better watch out, fellas. We've had more fights than you've had hot meals. And then Brutus turns to Julie and says, I do like to eat. Yeah, you do. And from the looks of their stomachs, they haven't missed a lot of meals either. Right?
Why is everybody on the show goofy?
What the hell is going on? Why is this happening?
Just call the Creeds up and stick them with Jack Cable. I'm sorry. Like, they do this with, I think when they think like people's personalities aren't clicking, they're like, oh, you know what we have to do? We have to give them the comedic offerings of like a 14-year-old. Like, it's really persistently bad. When like that's what, like, I think they thought that's why Riddle wasn't getting over, and they were like, oh, let's make him high all the time.
Yep.
Like, it's mind-blowing why you would do that with the, like, just call the Creeds up. Like, what are we doing? Yep. And Ivy Nile.
Yeah. Tony only wanted to take his mom to buy groceries.
I loved it. I loved it so much.
Hey, can I get out of here? I gotta go take my mom to buy some groceries, eh?
And I love how he was like, everything's cleared up, right? Because I gotta get out of here. Loved it.
Yep. Anyway, so there's a brawl between the Creeds and the Gallus boys on top. And Stacks runs out to help the Creeds because he doesn't like what they've done to Tony D. And then the backstage, he offers to be in their corner for the big tag title match at Battleground. And they tell him no because they can't trust anybody. He says, I understand. I can understand that. All right. I better get back on my phone and call the jail again, I suppose. I don't know what he's doing. And Henry the Casey says $5 says Stacks is a snitch. You can't give Tony less guys. You have to give him more guys. That's the problem. If they break up Tony D and Stacks, what the hell are we doing?
Well, can we talk about the uncomfortably cordial segment with the Creeds later?
Yes. Yeah.
Where he's like, hey, let's have each other's backs out there in like a more formal way. And the Creeds are like, LOL, we've trusted people before and had our trust broken. And famously, like all mobsters, he's just fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how the mob is. If you don't want to work with them, they're just like, oh, I get it. I get it, man. Go in peace. That sounds mobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Henry the Casey says, my cousin Tony D.
That's right.
Yep. And as Luis reminds us, why wasn't Luca Crucifino in this fucking segment? It was right there.
Oh my gosh.
Because he has much worse things to do.
He does. But he'd be so perfect for this. Sing his gear tonight. I was like, oh my god, just put him in this.
The thing that caused me to send a DM to Luis and Kate, I'm going to quit, was what they did with Luca Crucifino in this later. That was it. So they could have easily had Luca Crucifino come in and say, "You have nothing on my client. He is leaving. You cannot even hold him here. You got nothing on him." And Lou Tony's like, "Hey, he's not the best lawyer in the biz for nothing." Like, it's perfect. And then he's got a third guy who can occasionally fight on his behalf. I don't like. It's just so dumb. I'm so angry. Jambeard says, to be fair, I might be more afraid of the IRA, aka Gallus. Well, they're Scottish, not Irish. Than I am of the mob. The mob have some codes of honor. I mean, there's the Omerta. One of the code of codes is do not snitch.
Do they shake hands?
Perhaps.
That's where honor is real.
Yeah. Okay. So this is one of those. I'm honestly, if we're still doing these shows, you and I, Kate, in 5 years when Carmelo Hayes is world champion on the main roster, I'm going to keep bringing this up because it's still going to piss me off 5 years from now. They booked him to win the title from Braun Breaker via his stooge hitting Braun in the back of the head with the title belt.
Via what we call in this business cheat skis.
Cheating. He cheated blatantly in full view of everyone who watched the match. Granted, it's a small number of people. But everybody who watched the match saw him win the title via cheating. Since then, on NXT television, they have never once shown how he actually won the match.
If I had a dime, Alex, for every time they told us, I'd have 0 dimes.
Every time they go directly from the admittedly awesome counter of the Gorilla Press front slam that Braun does into a code breaker, it's an amazing counter. And then they go immediately from that to him going to the top and doing the leg drop. There's at least 2 minutes that happen in between there that they don't show us. It is a complete gaslighting. You are lying to your audience. Have the fucking stones to tell the story of how he is going to go to his home country, like his home area. He's from Framingham, Massachusetts. They're having the rematch in Lowell. Have the fucking balls. Have the Maurice's purse-sized balls to tell the story of how now, in front of all of his fans and friends and family, he's going to win this time for real. Have these sized balls to tell the story of how he is doubting himself because he knows he never would have beaten Braun if he didn't have Trick cheat for him. And now he knows, if I'm going to do it, this time I'm going to do it right. And it would mean so much more because he's doing it in front of his friends and family where he grew up. That's a great fucking story. And you won't tell any of it because you're lying to us about how he won it the first fucking time. I fucking hate this show.
I give it 5.5 lemons, 7 in the Tokyo Dome. The other thing that would justify some of Braun's pissed offness about this. Like it equals out both sides of it.
It gives him gray area. He's justifiably pissed about how he lost the title, and he's taking it out on the wrong people. He's spearing everybody because he's just so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
There's the opportunity for this to be, and I shit you not, one of the top 3 storylines NXT has ever done. And they're botching it horribly because they have no fucking stones. I'm so angry at how they actively do all of the wrong things in the biggest storyline that they've done in years. That a new guy who debuted in NXT 2.0 and became the anointed one and was the champion for a year, and the other guy who was always right on his heels until he finally got the title match. And how did he win it? The same way he won every match before, by having his stooge cheat for him. But this time it's different. This time he realizes he can't do that anymore. It's so obvious. Why are you doing this stupid same old fucking shit? You have an opportunity to do something good and you're doing something so fucking bad.
Not even so bad, so medium. Like, just so medium. And it also...
It's just so mid. It's just... Listen, the thing of it is
and it's the linchpin for your biggest heel and face double turn that you've done in years and years and years. That was maybe my favorite rant of yours since Roman and Brock.
And
Congrats.
the thing of it is there's really what could have been a really, really great video package of Carmelo going up to Boston, shipping up to Boston with the Dropkick Murphys, and getting interviewed at all these wrestling for all these radio stations. And as part of this storyline, if he's fielding questions about how he won the title the last time and how, well, that didn't seem so good. I mean, you cheated to win the last time. You're gonna have to cheat to win again. Like, figure out which of these guys interviewing him is the biggest wrestling fan, and talk to him about how you're gonna be a part of this story. And have Carmelo bristle at these questions and actually start thinking about how it actually is going to be. He needs it to be different, to be taken seriously, to know he really is the A champ. He's got to do it right this time. Like, instead it was just him sitting in all these random radio stations being asked the same stupid softball questions.
And it's also like, you have, like, Carmelo's real good at this aspect of this. He's great at pretty much everything. But like, he's really good at the justification and the this piece of it, the storytelling side of it, in and out of the ring. Like, they're probably the best in NXT at this aspect of it. So if there's anyone that can carry that, it's him. It also could create... It's too early to do like a Carmelo and Trick split, but there could be like a nice tension there where they have to recalibrate their entire relationship because in wrestling world, he's a face now, right? And faces don't usually have like henchmen. But they've driven home the friendship aspect of this. So they have to figure out how that functions. Like, it's such a more layered story in that way.
Mm-hmm. Jane Beard says, I see Alex is channeling his inner Lewis Black. Jake Salazar says, it sounds like Braun is a justified angry man, and he isn't as much of a heel as more of like a Batman style kind of justice. Sounds more like this Carmelo Hayes is the heel. Well, that's the problem, is that it's not. They're whitewashing everything to make Carmelo the baby face now, who never did anything wrong in his life. And Braun is being this sore loser. Which is fine. Here's the thing, the original story that I thought they were going to tell at the time, and at the time I thought they should have told, was Carmelo winning the title from Braun clean, which would justify Braun's heel turn, because that would make him a sore loser and all and pissy. And you do, but this other thing is so much better, and they're not. No. Meet Norma says the sour side is a pathway to abilities some consider unnatural. Let the sour flow through you, and may Gabagool be with you.
And with your spirit.
Jake Salazar says, Kate, I don't know if you were here for when Darby pinned Malachi, but my God, I've never seen anybody that angry. I don't think she was.
I wasn't, but I saw it.
Yeah. It wasn't just Darby doing it. It was the fact that Miro didn't.
Yes.
The fact that we never got a Miro versus Malachi match or even a real program between the two. And finally they're in this meaningless little fucking 6-man tag, and you have Darby pin Malachi, who was not even feuding with Malachi Black. I was so angry at everything because I just wanted my Miro versus Malachi. I was owed that. When Malachi split the mist at Miro to in that match, I was owed Miro. He had cut all these promos about how he was going to destroy the minions of Satan to prove to God that he's coming for him next. It was so they never did anything.
Well, and then both of them went away, so that's the other piece of it. Like,
yeah, it was a year ago from Sunday. Yeah, there it was. Anyway, Cody Stallings says, wait, where did it go? Happy thoughts, Alex. Dynamite is tomorrow. Look forward to that. No aneurysms tonight, please. Yeah, sure. Let's get some puns. We got lots of puns to read.
Let's get some puns.
We got lots.
I will understand like 3.
Mm-hmm. Lord Kev says Adam Pile Driver, Rey Mysterio Skywalker.
Got that one.
Mark Miro Hamill. Is that a stormtrooper or the Shockmaster? Very good. James Storm Kirk.
Should be James.
Or maybe
Stormtrooper.
Maybe X Spock. Mike Norma says I'm making mac and cheese with bacon. That's my contribution to the NXT discussion. Also, Han Solo Sokoa.
That's very good.
Electric Mayhem says, "May the sour be with you."
And with your spirit.
Jam Beard says Arnold once said, "I'll be back." Raquel replied, "I'll be a back." I'll be a back. That's what, Chris Mueller says Sky Blue Harvest. If you know, you know. I do know. Jam Beard says Han Solo Sokoa. Max J Headroom. The Umbrella Alpha Academy. Ricardo surname redacted says Switch Blade Runner. JDB Pringle says the Miz has tiny space balls. Pieces says a clockwork Orange Cassidy. Jambeard says Limitless Outer Limits. Billy Graham Super Stargate. Firefly Funhouse. Gargano Farscape. JDB Pringle says Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's Bill Goldberg and Ted DiBiase. Ricardo's surname redacted says Z-Man and Cena. That's He-Man and She-Ra. Ricardo's surname redacted says Nathan Laser. He should just change his name to Nathan Laser, actually. It's much better.
Hey, Bob's your laser.
And Bob's your... JW Pringle says Doctor Who, Britt Baker, DMD. That's good. Jake Salazar says Asuka Tano. Jada Pringle says CM Phaser. Ricardo's surname redacted says Hank Skywalker. Tom Lavalli says Serena Muad'Dib. Jake Salazar says Legado del Captain Phasma. Alpha Bill says Pew Pew Bigelow. Pew Pew Bigelow is great.
Pew Pew Bigelow.
Pew Pew Bigelow. Chris Mueller says The Butcher and the Blade Runner. Very Scorpio good. Skywalker. Orion Ben 666 says Babylon 5-star Frog Splash. Okay.
I don't know anything.
Wait, just have it. Ricardo says Shooting Star Wars Press. Jesse Lavery says the Millennium Falcon Arrow. Ricardo's surname redacted says Zach Lightsaber Jr. And that's as far as I wanted to go for this one.
Dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
The best.
We have one now that's kind of a Bluechew segue.
What?
Yeah.
A Bluechew segue? Go on.
As a pun. How about Blue Chewbacca?
Oh, very good. Very good. Mm-hmm. Look, if you want to make someone else make some weird roaring noise things. All right, that's all I got for Chewbacca. Use Bluechew.
You know, spring has sprung, but maybe your penis hasn't. Bluechew and the code Fightful is going to fix that. Whether you're in the mood or you're trying to get in the mood, Bluechew and the code Fightful has you covered. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You know they work. But it comes to you discreetly. You're not going to have everybody at the pharmacy or the doctor's office be like, what's he getting? Because somebody else is getting a little something once you use Bluechew and the code Fightful. You meet with an online physician, and if approved, it arrives straight to your door discreetly. And how about this? How about free? You just pay $5 shipping. That's it. Pay $5 shipping. And you're going to have that performance, that main event performance, that confidence. It's not just for people with a problem performing sexually. It's for that confidence, that main event. Bluechew and the code Fightful.
Jambeard sent one as an idea for a segue, but I'm not going to say all of it because it, just so you know, it references the tweet that got Kate in trouble this week. So Jambeard, thank you for that, but I'm not going to say it on air.
My dad watches.
Yeah,
Don't
so
tell
yeah,
me.
that was part of the that was the main reason I didn't want to read it on air. So
yeah, no, I don't. We don't need to do that.
So Jambeard, thank you for that, but we're not going to say that one out loud. But thank you. I feel like I'm sorry if I tattletaled. Now you're going to be in trouble with your dad.
My sister does improv. There's nothing that I've said that she hasn't said on stage that hasn't made them more uncomfortable.
Okay, so on this episode later, you have two best friends, tag team partners, fighting because that's the only way for two guys to get along and be better friends. So, with that in mind, Wesley is a little whiny bitch. Tyler Bate should have told me he wanted a shot at my belt. I'm not friends with you anymore. My daughter is 6. She's just finishing up kindergarten. She has like she's friends with everybody. She's very friendly. Like always loves like running up and saying, "Yeah, hi, I'm Rosie. Do you want to play with me?" Like anybody at the playground, she's best. But she has these very specific friends that she hangs out with all the time. However, at least twice a week, she'll come home and say, "Madison's not my friend anymore." Why? She took my blue crayon. We're not friends anymore. And then 2 days later, she'll be talking about how she and Madison were playing all day. Like, "Oh, you're friends again?" "Yeah, we're friends again." That's what Wesley feels like with Tyler Bate. Like, but Tyler Bate took my blue crayon and now we're not friends.
Well, in his defense, sack up, Tyler Bate. All right? If you want a title shot, tell the challenger. Like 8 other guys did. He's always fighting multi-man matches. Get it together, Tyler Bate. Say what's on your mind. Mr. Zen, Mr. Peaceful. Receive some clarity about how your throat chakra is and communicate.
You're literally doing another match about how like having a match against each other will make us better friends. And Wesley is like, "I don't even know if I can trust you. I don't even know who you are anymore." It's just dumb. It's just dumb. I mean, I don't know. It's just
like
dumb.
Just have a match.
Right. So he's on he's at ringside on commentary talking about how he doesn't even know if he can trust Tyler Bate anymore. For Tyler Bate versus Eddy Thorpe, which again is a great match until the stupid fucking ending that sucks.
Correct.
So did the match
it is
even
nice
have
to see Eddy Thorpe, I will say.
Yeah, he's good. He's very good. Does the match even have an ending, or does just Joe Gacy attack before it?
I think Joe Gacy attacks before it.
I think he attacks before the match can even end. So he ruins the finish of the match by having Joe Gacy come out and attack Tyler Bate. And then Wesley runs in to try and punch Joe Gacy in the back of the head, and then Joe Gacy moves, so Wesley punches Tyler Bate in the face, and he's checking on him because he's really concerned about this guy he thinks is a snake that he can never trust again. So, like, just figure it out.
Friendships are complicated, okay? Blue crayons.
You know what's not complicated? Joe Gacy needs to stop doing handstands into the ropes to do a lariat because it's dumb as shit. Every time he does that stupid handstand into the rope thing, I'm like, no.
It's like Jay Lethal with the lethal injection. I'm like, stop. Right.
Every time I see him do that, I say to myself, Joe Gacy, you're a better wrestler than that. That's the thing is, I honestly feel like of all the people who have who are saddled with these shitty ass gimmicks, Joe Gacy, I feel like, is the one who gets dropped down so significantly from what he could do if you weren't having him play the stupid gimmick and also had him do that. It's not a good finisher for him.
It's not great. I just don't like superfluous finishers like that.
Yeah.
Just do a lariat. Jay Lethal, just
Bate won? Oh, good. Thank God.
Oh, he got the W. Okay.
He won clean with the Tyler Driver in 87. Thank God. And then Joe Gacy attacked him. Wonderful. But the dumb thing was now Wesley and Tyler Bate will have to coexist to have any hope to defeat Joe Gacy. Well, actually, they can't coexist because they're in a triple threat match. But now, who does Wesley trust the least? His friend Tyler Bate, who just wants a shot at his title, or the weird cult puppet master Joe Gacy?
Why does he care? He wins against 5 people at a time.
Yeah.
This should be a cakewalk for him.
Yeah. So at least I guess there's that, but I don't know. I really don't. I really hate I've always hated I'm going to try and punch this guy, but accidentally I punched you. Now you hate me so much because of an obvious accident that you could watch back and see was an accident if you ever looked at videotape.
I don't hate it every time. It's very difficult to do extremely well. I'll say that. There are times where I've seen it work. I think FTR did one of those and it was good. Shocker. But it's very difficult to pull off and make look realistic and good. But Tyler Bate and Wesley are great.
Yep.
I'm wondering if we actually get a title changing hands here. Because it kind of feels like we've run out of steam a little bit for Wesley.
Well,
no?
Yeah. No, I agree. I just feel like if we're changing a title, then the one who's getting the title is Joe Gacy, and yuck.
You don't think Tyler Bate?
No,
I feel like for this title, maybe.
Here's the thing. Because of the way they book stuff, I always have to say, could this be good? If they did this, then what would happen? Because they have such obvious booking patterns. If they had Tyler Bate win, either he or Wesley have to turn heel. And I don't really have any interest in seeing either of them play heel. Tyler Bate maybe, but not for this reason. Wesley, I don't want to see Wesley play heel because he's so jealous that his friend got a title match and won by pinning the other guy in the triple threat.
I hate when they force naturally likable people to be heel, and Wesley is just a very naturally likable guy. And it's why I didn't like it when they did it with Ruby Soho on the main roster. There's some people that you just want to. I just like rooting for Wesley. He's a very easy dude to root for, so don't force him into something.
Right. I think the whole thing, I think the whole gimmick around the schism is trash. I think Joe Gacy's a very talented wrestler. Yeah.
Joe Gacy also keeps getting people that either get released or want to leave. So it's also I mean, God bless them. They're doing work on the way out, GYB, but kind of has a ceiling. Yeah.
The best thing on the show is Nathan Frazer Nathan Frazer versus Noam Dar. I was about to say the best thing on the show was Nathan Frazer defeating Noam Dar, but that sucks. The match was great.
Yes.
I will always fucking hate it when you have a champion going into a pay-per-view match, getting pinned in a non-title match by a dude who's not in the match. Like, I don't like what is your fucking fascination with that shit? Like they did that with like they had Sami Zayn get pinned by Finn Balor on Monday, and like
it just doesn't
so
accomplish anything.
No, it's bad. It doesn't. The match was great, and the match was continuing to be great. It was a really great showcase for both Nathan Frazer and Noam Dar, who are both great wrestlers. And then it was like somebody like literally was like pushed a button and then opened up a door, and Dragon Lee wandered out down the ramp to be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Is there a wrestling match happening?" It did not feel like this was Dragon Lee's idea to come down and distract Noam Dar in a match that he can't lose his title for. Like it didn't feel like that's something that Dragon Lee would do. Like it's such a WWE staple that you've got to start figuring out who would do this and who wouldn't. Noam Dar somehow, even if it was via chicanery, beating Nathan Frazer and then Dragon Lee coming out, sarcastically clapping, and them facing off over the Heritage Cup is a 1,000,000% better thing than having Nathan Frazer beat Noam Dar right before there's a title match that So if Noam Dar beats Dragon Lee, then Nathan Frazer gets a title shot. I'm assuming that's what you would do. If Dragon Lee beats Noam Dar, does he owe Nathan Frazer the title shot?
Well, here's the thing. For a company that is so obsessed with people being from places, like, why wouldn't you just build the story on Heritage Cup prowess, that style of wrestling, versus Dragon Lee Lucha, his style of wrestling, and how their heritages have played into the Heritage Cup? Like, they tell that story and everything. They tell the Heritage story and everything, but the Heritage Cup is just a weird way to go, right? And I like the video package that they did for it. The video package,
it was good. A nice video package. Yeah, it was a good video package. But like, I also just Nathan Frazer pinning Noam Dar. Now, to me, tips the hand. Noam Dar's retaining. Now, I would think he would probably retain anyway, because it's his first defense of that title stateside.
Yeah, he kind of just got here.
Right. But if you wanted to be like, oh shit, Dragon Lee's somebody to watch out for, here's this kind of match he doesn't really do, but somehow he beat Noam Dar doing it. That's a great way to like elevate Dragon Lee, which you should be doing in some way at some point, because Dragon Lee's fucking amazing, and he should be on the fucking main roster. He's really, really, really good. I understand why he's in the fucking NXT, but there would be some doubt in my mind going into this. But now that Nathan Frazer has pinned Noam Dar has to retain so that he can have the match with Nathan Frazer. Like, stop doing that shit. Stop tipping your hand of who's obviously going to win the pay-per-view match, because guess what? It makes me not want to watch your fucking show.
Okay, but what if I told you the women's match is even more predictable?
It would make me want to watch it less.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Also, guess what? Braun Breaker's not winning his title back. So right there you have like that's another one. Like Gallus and the Creeds. I suppose the Creeds can win the title back. Okay, fine. But like the build is trash, and you made the Creeds into like frat boys.
Like
they made them into frat boys, and it's bad. And like amazingly, the only thing on the show that I am really excited for is the match that I personally have the least confidence in who's going to win. I believe Dragunov's going to win, but if Dijak won, would it shock me? No, because I think he's a great guy. He's awesome to have, and beating Dragunov would be a huge thing for him that would elevate him up the card, which is a place he should be.
And like it's the match with the least amount of stakes, which
Right.
is crazy.
If Dijak won this versus Dragunov and then was the next guy to get a major program with Carmelo, that makes all the sense in the world.
Sure.
Also, if Dragunov won and gets a program with Carmelo, that makes sense. I feel like whoever wins that match should be the next major program for Carmelo. But I would like to see both guys face Carmelo. Isn't that awesome? Where you have a match between two great guys with a cool kick-ass stipulation where they're going to beat the hell out of each other, and I don't know who's going to win. And either way, I win as a viewer because I get to see that guy move on to have a great program with another great wrestler.
Would never work.
Dumbass
Would never work.
Ricardo says people say he's great, but I'm not sold on Noam Dar. I mean, I think he is great, but if you've only seen a couple of matches, it takes a while to like get used to it. You know what I mean? The thing of it is that
he's great. Like, you're blind.
Nope, I didn't think he was great when I watched the first few matches of him when I was years and years and years ago when I was doing research for my huge Cruiserweight Classic preview, where I would watch like guys' old like matches. So many of them I'd never heard of before, and I was watching some of his stuff from the Indies, and like this guy's interesting, but I don't think he's got it quite yet. And then as I watched more of his matches, I was like, no, this guy's really good. So like it's one of those things, Do
you remember everybody who was in the Cruiserweight Classic off the top of your head, by chance?
Everyone,
or most of.
I mean, if you told me to name them all, I probably couldn't. But if you asked me if somebody was in it, I could tell you whether or not they were.
No, I'm just intrigued because it's just interesting where everybody ended up at then, and that the finals that they wanted to were like, we're not signing with you. But like,
so many of them got signed.
It was so wildly successful. And not even necessarily wildly successful under the WWE umbrella. Like it was the last really healthy industry-wide thing I feel like I remember WWE doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it was just an amazing thing. It was honestly, it still remains one of my favorite things WWE has ever done.
Oh yeah.
Like watching it, it's so good. Anyway, then Dar is being secretly videotaped by NXT Anonymous, trying to get Oro Mensah to be his second at the thing because Nathan Frazer is going to be Dragon Lee's second, and nobody he won't do it. So, JC Ozog, it is called the Cruiserweight Classic. As far as I know, all of the rounds and matches are on the Peacock app in the States.
Hey, people in the chat. Mm-hmm. I told Alex, because he loves it, and I love it and want to see it, he should do like a Cruiserweight Classic rewind on his own YouTube channel. And he was like, ha ha ha, maybe I do video games over there. But if you want to see it and we'll send him money, I bet he'll do it. So sound off in the chat. It would be so good. It would be so good.
So everybody who is in the CWC, the only ones who are still remaining are Noam Dar, Cedric Alexander, the former Raul Mendoza, now Cruz del Toro, Akira Tozawa, the former Fabian Eichner, now Fakian Eichner, now Giovanni Vinci, and Mustafa Ali. Those are the only ones remaining in the company.
Oh, God, and they did so little.
But, like, Graham Metalik was there, Lindsay Dorado was there, Jack Gallagher was there, good riddance to that guy. But there were, like, there were a bunch of great wrestlers in that tournament. Well, Drew Gulak is still in there. Drew Gulak is
Drew,
still,
that's right.
Drew Gulak was in the tournament. He was great.
Was Kenta in it? Or did I make that up?
No.
Who was in it that I was thinking of?
I don't know. Ho Ho Loon? I don't know. Ho Ho Loon was in it. There were a couple of guys in there that you could tell they had only like seen film of, really grainy film, and like, oh yeah, no, you're not making a person past the first round there, buddy.
Oh, Kota Ibushi was in it. Duh.
Kota Ibushi was in it, but he's not in WWE.
No. I was just that's what I mean. Like how many people under that who were in that are just wrestling on worldwide stages all over the world is bananas. Like there's some that are WWE, the ones you just named, but like New Japan, AEW, like it's just crazy. So many people there went on to get contracts at other places or whatever. Like it's
there you go.
Cool.
Kenta, Gargano, and Ciampa. I don't know why I missed that, but
oh hell yeah,
Ciampa. That was an amazing thing. And DJZ was not in it. DJZ was signed after the Cruiserweight Classic. He was not in the Cruiserweight.
Ibushi versus Alexander, yeah.
But that wasn't even in the tournament. That was a secondary, or was it? Yeah, it was. I'm thinking of another one. They did another one that was outside of the tournament. That was like Oni Lorcan versus somebody that wasn't even in the tournament.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking, and that was a great match.
Just in the UK, right?
Yeah. No. It was like once they got to like the semifinals and there were only like 4 matches in the tournament at a taping, they would like add random other matches in there just to like, because you didn't want people to show up for only 4 matches. But there was another match that was outside of the bounds of the tournament. That was so good. But yeah. Oh yeah, TJP. That was him. He's no longer in the company. But yes, he was in the tournament.
Did he win? Who won? No,
TJP
he was in the finals. He did win.
TJP won. Yeah, he beat Grand Metalik.
Grand Metalik. That's right.
Yep. Tajiri was in the tournament. Tajiri was in the tournament. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, hey, do you know what Vic Joseph's one fucking job was tonight? He had one fucking job.
To rein Booker T in.
That's impossible. It's not a task any human being can actually accomplish. He had one job tonight. Was to give us this. Hank Tank next.
Oh, I know.
They didn't even do a Hank Tank next. That's the only reason to do this match, is to give us a Hank Tank next. It's the only reason to do the match.
It's the only reason to tune into all of NXT. Let's be real. Hank Tank next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, it was very, very quick. And
it was.
They came out together. They were announced at the same time. And they came out together and they shook and they were like, hey, we're friends. We're having this match. The match ended when they did a double crossbody while running the ropes. And then Hank just rolled over and pinned Tank.
That's it.
It was the dumbest shit. Like the only reason to do it was then to show Braun Breaker showing up and spearing both of them. That's it. Like there was no artistry to the match whatsoever. I believe both of these guys are better than this. I've seen Hank actually have good matches versus like Charlie Dempsey and stuff.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more, but I also feel like I don't know if I'm picking my battles with NXT. This was not the thing that offended me most.
But then why like devote 5-6 minutes last week to like setting up the match if you're gonna be like, oh, this is nothing, it's a fucking throwaway, nobody cares. Just I don't know, it's just dumb. You could have put 2 random guys who are normally on Level Up and had them do part of a match, and then Braun breaks up the match by spearing them both.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying on the level of dumb that we got tonight. That's bottom 3.
Why was Braun wearing all black? Is he an MWO? It's because he's a heel, and in NXT, this only color you're allowed to wear when you're a heel.
The reason this was a throwaway match was because they didn't say Hank take next. If they had said that,
that's true.
15-minute collision, just like
the first spear was to Hank, and I don't believe he's got a spleen anymore.
Nope.
I believe it exploded on impact because Braun has the best spears in WWE. I don't believe it's
he might have the best spear in wrestling. Like him and Starks are my two.
But
I think.
Like the thing of it, I think that like I don't think there's anybody even close in WWE for sure.
No,
he is the velocity that he gets when he explodes into people's midsection is nuts.
Bananas.
This is why 2 years ago, 2021, 2022, 2022, 2022, I pitched for SummerSlam. I pitched the main event of SummerSlam being Roman versus Goldberg versus Braun Breaker.
Yeah. A
The present-
generational of spears.
the present versus the past versus the future, and all of them do spears. And that would be it'd be like a round robin of them doing spears to each other. And
man, and I already played my Bluechew ad, and we're sitting here talking about explosive spears. Ruin my life.
There was a as Luis calls it, a random ass Gigi Dolan promo.
It wasn't that random ass, was it?
It's what that I'm repeating to you what Luis said.
I feel like it was not terribly random.
Yeah. Gigi came out to cut a promo on JC and how she wants to fight her, and how dare you say meaning. How dare you say mean things about my brother or whatever. And then JC Jane came up in the audience where they used to have the Toxic Lounge, which remember we decided was the club for teenagers.
Yeah, the teen club.
Yeah,
it's next to the mini golf course where Bray Wyatt and LA Knight had their glow in the dark match. That's what it is.
Yep.
It's in a strip mall.
It's a strip mall.
That's where this is.
Mm-hmm.
I actually I've really liked this promo work from Gigi Dolan. I liked her talking about, she didn't overcome everything that she and her family came through to be taken out by this little punk, this little JC Jane, trying to ruin her days. She's mad all the attention is on Gigi. I hate it.
I thought this was a good promo, and it built to something which is important, and that's good. But I will defend his use of the term random ass because it was not announced or promoted at all.
No, it definitely RKO. It was like it came out of nowhere for sure.
Yes, it was. Yeah, there was very much Randy Orton
for sure. But this led to a weaponized steel cage match, which I've decided has to be an Ambrose Asylum match. Yep.
What they need to call, they should at least call it that. But they're going to have a weaponized cage match next week. Not 2 weeks from now, where I will be gone, but next week.
Winner gets Mitch the Plant.
Yeah. Winner gets custody of Mitch the Plant.
Hell yeah.
Loser gets visitation rights only on every other Sunday. But it'll be good. That'll be fun. I hope it's much better than other matches they've had against each other. It is odd that that had so much heat behind it after the breakup, even though the breakup was obviously a fucking ripoff of the barbershop. But people
and
were like,
one nobody was calling for. That's
nobody. Yeah. I can't wait to see these two beat the hell out of it. Beat the hell out of each other. And then the matches have not been good. So I'm hoping this it really tops it and is great.
I think it will too, because the one she broke her shoulder in, right? And then the other one just felt weird. It just never really clicked in. So I'm glad they're at least giving this the blow off spotlight that it deserves.
Yeah.
Kind of weird they're not doing that on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it is. They're not doing on the play. They have a lot on the play. But it feels like you could do this one and then do the tag match the following Tuesday.
Correct.
Nobody really gives a shit about Gallus and the Creeds. It'll be fine. It'll be a good match. But it's not like, oh my God, think of the build. I cannot wait to see. It doesn't, So yeah.
Everybody in the chat misses Mitch, apparently.
You gotta miss Mitch. In my defense, says Luis, I typed that as soon as Dolan walked in because I did not see it coming, unlike Veer. Luca Crucifino cut a promo outside the courthouse.
I'm obsessed with Luca Crucifino. Alex, I love this guy so much.
Yeah. I thought the promo, the pre-tape promo outside the courthouse was fun.
His gear is incredible.
I mean, it's incredibly stupid, but it's
incredible.
It's incredibly stupid, but like not as stupid as what they have him do in the match.
So dumb.
Where he exits the match with Von Wagner to assault Robert Stone. Where's that picture? Give me that picture. I want that picture. And then he
put your picture away.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. It is
why is Robert Stone just walking around with Von Wagner's baby picture?
I don't know. But Luca Crucifino takes it out and holds it up in front of Robert Stone's face and goes, "Look at this freak! Look at this freak! Look at him! Look at this freak! Look at this freak!" And this is where I said to you, I quit.
Correct, yeah.
I quit. Like,
Alex was in an I quit match with NXT and NXT won.
NXT won. I quit. They didn't even have to like hold my wife hostage with like a concerto. Like I was done.
It wasn't even a dramatic like I quit. Like you're not in some submission hold. You're just like I'm out. Right. Peace.
He does that, and then Von Wagner is so angry that he beats him up while he's entangled in the ropes so much that they has to get disqualified. This is hey, I guess credit to them. They know their audience in the PC, which are a bunch of fucking rubes, because they're like, yay, we're cheering for Von Wagner now. What? I thought he was drafted. Wasn't he drafted?
He was a free agent.
Why was he drafted? Like, he was drafted. He's a free agent on the main roster. Why are you doing a whole storyline with him down in NXT? And he's getting justified revenge on a man who called his baby picture a freak by powerbombing him onto the announce table, but the announce table doesn't break. And everyone's chanting Matalo, which means kill him in Spanish. And one more time. And why are we cheering for Von Wagner? Name me one fucking thing he's done to make us like him.
There are zero. But it's almost become I almost get it because I'm almost like I'm impressed with how little they've given us and how dumb this is. Like it's actually blowing my mind at this point. Like, if your wrestling manager was carrying around your baby picture for weeks and brought it ringside to you, like that is weird enough.
Yeah.
On its own.
Yep.
Why you are triggered by this baby picture that your manager is carrying around with you? I don't know. Why Luca Crucifino is like, I need to get in this guy's head with this baby picture is weird.
It's never been explained to us why Robert Stone has the picture.
No, they were going through they were trying to get to the bottom of who Von Wagner was, and they were going through the photo, and then he, I guess, ripped it out.
No, they were not going through a photo album. They were like...
Yes, they were, because they made the Wembley joke, remember? Oh, my dad was in the Beverly Brothers.
Oh, my God, that's right. That's right. Like, why?
Look at the crowd at Wembley. It's going to be so big.
The only thing I remember was him asking Von Wagner what his favorite fries were. Favorite fries? Oh, curly fries. No, wait. Waffle fries. This is a guy we're supposed to be chanting for? The guy who can't make a decision between curly and waffle fries? This is so dumb. I just... Oh my god, it's just so dumb.
I have
Why are
never had an emotion elicited in me from Von Wagner.
Luca
Outside of
Crucifino
boredom.
could be Tony D'Angelo's lawyer right now, but they're doing some bullshit with Von Wagner. I don't understand. Also, you got one more week. Next week, you better fucking tell me what the picture is. Like,
He definitely had some sort of brain surgery, right? Like,
that's fine, but we all got that the first time we saw the picture, which was a month ago, Kate. You keep bringing out this picture every week, and like, what's this picture?
So the thing is, with this angle, this is starting to teeter into why does Hank have the same outfit every week, where now I'm getting bought in by how dumb this is.
Yeah. Well,
You never thought you'd be begging for Chase University, would you? But here we are.
Man, we miss them. All right, let's do some more puns, and then we'll get to the main event. Okay, all right, here we go. Oh my goodness, here we go. It's really Brian sent one humper chat with like 12 puns in it.
That is cheating, but I respect it.
EO Skywalker, The New Day the Earth Stood Still, Star Trek, The Next Degeneration X, Guardians of the NXT Parking Lot, The Malachi Black Hole, Tron Wagner, The Soylent Chelsea Green, Clockwork Orange Cassidy, FTR 1138, Willie Mack to the Future.
Willie Mack to the
Larry,
future is really
Larry B. Dupree says, not the most direct sci-fi pun, but in honor of Alex's awesome shirt, Fantastic Figure 4. This is the Muppets in the Muppetastic 4. Cam Watson says, sci-fi pun title match. The galaxy's greatest alien, Chris Statlander, versus the apex predator, Randy Orton. There you go. Jake Salazar says, Qui-Gon Jane. Oh, by the way, JC Jane calls Gigi Dolan Jeej. And now she must team with Brooks Jensen. So they can be Jeej and the Beej. Jeej and the Beej winning the next mixed match challenge. Let's get it done. Jeej and the Beej to win the mixed match challenge.
Jeej and the Beej. It sounds like a morning show.
It does.
Hey, you're tuned into Jeej and the Beej here at
Hey.
97.5.
Whoa! Larry B. Dupree says George Lucas boys. George Lucas boys. Jesse Ozog says Dolph Zardoz. Paul Logan's runs away forever, I hope. Logan Paul. I get the Logan Paul. Paul Logan's. Teletric Mayhem says I, Ralphus, which is a robot. Paul Elizabeth says Warp drives out Captain Scotty. Bluechew now.
My dad rules.
Ricardo, surname redacted, says Darth Vader is Dark Father. Tom LaValle says EC3PO. R-Truth, D-Truth. R-Truth, D-Truth is amazing.
R-Truth, D-Truth is so good.
You know that awesome song Staying Alive by the Beach Jeeges?
Great band.
Ricardo says Trish Stratosphere.
Very nice.
Ryan Ben says Black Hole Combat Club, United Imperial Empire. JW Pringle says so long and thanks for all the Bobby Fish. Larry B. Dupree says Grogulac or Baby Iota Sky. Grogulac. There you go. Grogulac. I don't know why I said Grogulac. One Lieutenant Photo says Padme Amatopdala. Amatopdala is really good. Cam Watson says Rhea Ellen Ripley. Is it Ellen? I can't remember. It is Ellen. Meet Normus says sup partners.
Sup partner?
Maddie Kylo Renkowski. Ricardo, surname redacted, says Imperium Strikes Back. It's very good. I like that one a lot. Taylor Mayhem says Gene Roderick Strongberry. It's a Gene Roddenberry joke.
I understand what that was.
Meet Normus says Spaceballs Mike Bailey. Malachi back chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum? Black I'm not sure. Electric Mayhem says Captain Lou Picard. Ricardo's surname redacted says Jabba the Hutter Hearst Helmsley. True Infamous 73 says the King of Stormtroopers, Shinsuke Nakamura. Pieces says the Time Machine, Brian Cage. Vealing Dreepy says Techno Team 2001, Space Odyssey.
I love that you guys enabled my Techno Team 2000 thing.
Pieces, Soylent Chelsea Green, and Big Wally. Meet Normus says Big Boss Mandalorian. Toodles.
Toodles.
Ricardo, surname redacted, says Spaceballs of Fire. Ricardo also says Star Wars Brogue Kick Squadron. That's very good. Stelazar says Braun Bakaka. Braun Chewbacca.
Okay. Got it.
And Larry B. Dupree says E. Joaquin Wild. And Joaquin Wild. And Tom Valley says Queen Padme Aminata.
Oh, very nice.
And Luis says no more things for Beach to do because we already dealt with that for like 8 months, and that's fair.
Can't argue.
So I don't know how much longer you think we're gonna have to deal with the Roxanne sucks at wrestling because she's got anxiety storyline. How much longer do we think we're gonna do that?
Well, she's gonna chase Tiffany and lose, so at least another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
At least
this is a really good match between Tiffany and Roxanne. It made
like
me
a tournament finals level match. I would say we got,
and it made me like really excited for the potential of them being like rivals for like the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Like it made me really excited about the potential of that.
Tiffany's grown so much. Like I know we say it every week, but like every time I see her, there's something new. Like her selling is better. Roxanne, I think, also helped bring out the best in her. Like I thought the pacing was really good. I thought they both made each other look really good. Roxanne, I had just been familiar with when she came in. And Tiffany, I just feel like we've seen grow week over week over week. This was a really, really strong match.
Yeah. So Tiffany Stratton won clean. And now it's going to be obviously her beating an injured Lyra Valkyria at Battleground, and she'll be the new champion. Good for Tiffany Stratton. Her being the champion is, I think, a good thing for NXT.
Thank you so much for saying that.
It's a good thing for her to see how she, works as a top talent in the brand. I think it's good overall for WWE because if she's going to be here for a while, and there's no reason to think she's not, it'll be a really good first foray into that level of pressure. All of that is good. Why did you make Roxanne Perez champion? HBK? Why even do it? If I understand I understand, a woman's body scares you. So we had to take the title off of Mandy Rose immediately with nothing. Like had to happen that night because, Puritanism, but you put it on Roxanne. That's your choice to do that. And that seemed like everyone was like, oh, obviously she's the heir apparent. That's the person who was going to win the title from Mandy anyway, eventually. So it's good that she's the champion. Let's see where we go with it. And then you do this bonkers, out of nowhere bullshit storyline with her having the match of her career versus Miko Satomura, winning it, and then collapsing because of anxiety. And you strip the title from her. And then you insert her into the ladder match to get the title back, but you don't have her win that match. You have Indy Hartwell win the match, completely out of left field. Nobody understood why that was happening.
You also have her tell no story in that match either.
Right. By the way, she's not actually the story in that match about her anxiety overcoming it. That's not present in the match at all. The ladder match. So then Indy wins. And we're like, oh, I guess Indy is going to stick around in NXT for a while. You know, now that you've put the top title on her, we all thought she was overdue for a call-up, but I guess she'll be here for another 6 months or so. Then, tragically, she gets injured in a match versus Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne Perez for the title, and you have her come out of the trainer's room with a friggin' shattered ankle to pin Roxanne Perez, only to then give the title up so she could go be drafted to the main roster. And if you were going to draft her to the main roster, there was no reason to put the title on her to begin with. I love Indy Hartwell. I think she's great. All of this just muddies everything further. The story that Roxanne Perez, God love her, seems to think you are telling is that she is showing anyone who may have anxiety that it is okay because you can overcome it. But ever since you've introduced that, she just seems to lose all the big matches.
Correct.
So I don't think
semifinal
this is the story
match.
you are doing. Yes, this is a semifinal.
She couldn't even make it to the finals. It is a big old mess with a huge star in Roxanne. You're right in that the match was great, and it did make you excited that, like, I think Roxanne is a natural face. I think Tiffany is a natural heel. This could be their Becky and Charlotte next up, or their Rhea and Bianca if they ever actually do that next up. Like, this is the way to go. It will never make sense that this wasn't the finals. And it will never make sense that they chose to tell the story of, I think they think they're doing like what they did with Cody Rhodes. Like, I think they're like, oh, this is adversity. She's going to overcome this. But she hasn't overcome anything. She's only lost. So it's not like, hey, the best win is staying on the field. It can't be that for 3 title shots in a row.
I believe the story they were going to tell was Roxanne Perez chasing Mandy Rose and eventually defeating her at Stand and Deliver.
And deliver.
Right? Like, so that makes sense because Mandy had already been the champion forever. She was an established star. You make the new star by having Roxanne chase and then pin her to become the new champion. But Tiffany is also a new star, and you have to establish her as a champion. So you can't immediately have Roxanne chase her unless you're going to have Roxanne lose a bunch of times along the way, which is only going to more adversely affect our perception of her. So I think what they're doing is going to have her versus Blair Davenport because, spoiler alert, she loses the match. Tiffany Stratton wins. And then afterwards, behooded woman attacks Roxanne Perez and then runs away. We all think it's Blair Davenport. So Roxanne versus Blair Davenport. In the meantime, while
trying to attack you as a hooded figure. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew.
Ow.
My God, do the job, Alex. Jeez.
Stop. That doesn't work for me, brother.
Can't work like this. At the beginning of the show, I'm out here being accountable for the fact that I haven't brought the amount of bits I need to the show. That's the first thing I say, Alex. I haven't dressed up enough. I'll do better. Mad Libs aren't enough. I'll do better. I'm out of CM Punk live journals to read. I'll do better. That I try. I immediately try and inject something into the show. And I'm working with this no-selling son of a bitch. I'm roasting in a hoodie in my office. It's hot in here. Put on this hoodie at the Bluechew ad just for the bit, just to get no-sold. Wrap up the show. I'm done. Oh, you want an HBK tribute spot? How about a freaking Montreal screw job right here? Should have been my bit.
Who's going to be the person who does the "I'm sorry, I love you" bit? Who's going to say "I'm sorry, I love you" to somebody? I'm not sure who it is.
It'll be like Wendy Chu for some reason.
Michael Dammit says, it reminds me of the semifinal of the Dusty Cap last year was Io and Kaylee Ray versus Caden and Katana. And then Io and Kaylee Ray won that and immediately cashed it in for singles titles opportunities.
Yes, they did. What a tribute to Dusty Rhodes.
I don't know why we're doing what we're doing with Roxanne. It just feels like it's all counterproductive. She should still be also, I will say this. I like this match a lot. Okay. I don't believe for a second it's the best match you could have between these two. Like right now, if you asked them to wrestle a better match than this, they'd have 3 or 4 they could pull out. Also, I watched Roxanne Perez get absolutely murdered for 15 minutes by Miko Satomura. And she kicked out of everything that woman threw at her.
Yeah, that was before anxiety, though.
Right. Her losing this match the way she did to Tiffany Stratton feels anticlimactic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. It was a semifinals tournament match.
It just feels this, man. Yeah. Ricardo says Roxy and Tiffany Stratton was great. And Jan Beard says this Roxanne storyline makes me think of the quote by Homer Simpson: "Trying is the first step to failure." No, the one that I know is the great one by Homer Simpson where he says, "Kids, you tried your best and you failed miserably. The lesson here is never try." And honestly, that's what I try to impart to my daughter every day.
I think A, you're a great dad. And B, I would say my favorite Homer Simpson quote is, "I don't know, because I didn't watch The Simpsons, and it comes up every week." I'm
telling you, we would have like a top 50 podcast in the nation if we just watched all The Simpsons. You've never seen any of them, and I've seen all of them 100 times, and it would be a lot of fun. We should just do it.
I'll do that if you do a Cruiserweight Classic Rewind.
Oh, okay, fine. Mad Maxwell, Jacob Friedman. It's very good.
Very good.
I guess we're gonna get Mystery Woman versus Roxy. I mean, let's say it's not Blair Davenport. Let's say it's not Blair Davenport. Who is it?
Well, Nikita Lyons couldn't have attacked herself, right?
Right, yeah. She's so she's gone out for a long time.
Who else would it be? I mean, someone from Level Up, maybe?
I mean, it'd be really weird, right?
Because everyone who's off screen is someone that got attached, like Nikita, Wendy. It would be cool if it was Ivy, but it won't be. Kind of has to be Blair, or someone that's not even like on the radar, right? Like someone completely out of the zeitgeist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anybody who's been doing nothing on the main roster who they could be like Tegan Knox, but like she's been doing nothing on the main roster. I kind of love her, like doing a crazy psycho heel turn, like just deciding to just to destroy everybody in the way. I mean, I don't know.
It just feels like it's going back too far to. You know what I mean? Like this has been going on for months, and it feels like
is it Stevie? I mean, she's not wearing fingerless gloves, so
yeah, and it just feels like a little bit too much of a departure from her trying to be us.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Last call for super chats and humper chats because we gotta get going.
Yep. Jambeard says, I don't know, Alex, crinkle cut is a nice go-to.
Oh, in the fry department,
for fries. Yeah, I like,
especially if it's a cheese fry because it's good at like keeping the cheese.
Yeah, I'm the more and more like I can't just do a plain fry. I got to have some seasoning. You know what I mean? Like that's why a curly fry usually's got some seasoning on it. Waffle fry's got some seasoning.
Sure,
but
it's my preference. But I can do a plain fry. I mean, I'm not not kicking it out.
Talking about Breaker's spear. Jake Salazar says, I imagine getting legitimately smacked at the line of scrimmage in the ribs by that man would just have to like break everything.
Everything, yeah.
Feeling Dreepy says this pay-per-view is in the same building that Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor was last year, a show I went to, and is literally 10 minutes from my home. I didn't consider for a moment going because if the booking is going to be this shit on TV, why would I go see it live? There you go.
If it's cheap and fun wrestling, but I get where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Jambeard says, watch knowing HBK's booking the hoodie person will be Miko. Now that would be interesting, but
that would be very interesting. I would not mind that at all.
Mm-hmm. And CO says, don't forget the great Marge Simpson quote, aim low, kids. Aim so low, no one will even care if you succeed.
It's a good show, The Simpsons, I hear.
Jambeard says NXT is as confusing as the old Abbott and Costello sketch of them explaining 7 times 3 equals 28. 7 times 13 equals 28.
2 plus 2 equals mailbox.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Wait. Ricardo says instead of Lyra Valkyria, it's Leia Valkyria.
Very nice. Easy adjustment.
Mm-hmm. And okay. Matthew Plus says Katie's bangs look like little Nikki's face. That's not nice. Matthew
nice.
Plus says,
but then he said, this is so weird. He said, oh my gosh, Kate is so wonderful and nice and pretty and funny and smart. Mm-hmm. She is my hero, and that's why I send her money constantly. Mm-hmm. She is the hero that the wrestling industry needs. What a kind chat to send in. Mm-hmm. Just very different.
Matthew Plus says you can't date potential. Yeah, everyone listening to this can date Katie, not because you've got no shot. You don't, but because she's using you for attention and money.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. And Jesse Ozog says you guys should do Zardoz on Get the Flick Out of Here.
What's a Zardoz?
I want you to Google, image search, Zardoz, and then we will see your reaction.
This feels vulnerable. Okay, a few things have come up.
Mm-hmm.
One is a dude in Karrion Kross's main roster gimmick gear.
Yes, yeah, that's Sean Connery and the Zardoz costume.
That's Sean Connery.
That's Sean Connery. Yes.
Oh, we're gonna watch this. And why is he in a giant? Why is he standing in a giant hand with a green face behind him?
I don't know.
Beyond 1984, beyond 2001, beyond love, beyond death. This is. Can you see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. You have my immediate attention.
Ricardo Surname Redacted says the Lethal Weapon Steve Black Mass. Okay. Okay. This is Jambier said this in last week, so we'll do it now. Darby singing Doo-Wah Diddy. There she was, just walking down the street singing Doo-Wah Diddy, Diddy Dum Diddy Doo, snapping her fingers and shuffling her feet, singing Doo-Wah Diddy, Diddy Dum Diddy Doo. She looked good. She looked fine. She looked good, she looked fine, and I nearly lost my mind. Before I knew it, she was walking next to me singing doo-wah-diddy, diddy-dum, diddy-doo, holding my hand just as natural as can be, singing doo-wah-diddy, diddy-dum, diddy-doo. We walked on to my door. We walked on to my door, then we kissed a little more, Brody King.
He moved on from that storyline so long ago. He's still just Me and my sister used to sing that song all the time when we were younger.
Oh my god. Okay. What do we got here? We only got one here for Kate, or two Kates. Okay, here we go. But Kate, there's a couple down here near the bottom. You pick which of those two near the end that you want to do now, and then which one you want to do later.
Woman by Kesha. Let's be serious. Come on. This is real. This is, excuse me. Okay, shut up. I buy my own things. I pay my own bills. These diamond rings, my automobiles. Everything I got, I bought it. Boys can't buy my love. Buy my love? I do what I want, she says. Say what you say. Woo! I work real hard every day. I'm a mother effing woman, baby. I don't need no man to be holding me too tight. I'm a mother effing woman, baby. That's right. I'm just having fun with my ladies here tonight. I'm a mother effer. Yeah. Let's drive around in my Cadillac. Girls in front, boys in the back. Lucy has a goosey and we're looking for some fun. I'm a mother effing woman, baby, all right? I don't need a man to be holding me too tight. I'm a mother effing woman, baby. That's right. I'm just having fun with my ladies here tonight. I'm a mother effer. Toodles.
Very good. Very good. Orion Ben wants Gallus to sing Shipping Up to Boston.
Whoa.
I've been sailing a pig and I lost my leg, climbing up the top sails, lost my leg, shipping off to Boston, shipping out to Boston, shipping up to Boston, shipping out to Boston, find my wooden leg, sailing a pig, I've lost my leg, climbing up the top sails, I lost my leg, shipping up to Boston, shipping up to Boston, shipping up to Boston, It really is a terrible song. Like it's a great song,
great.
but the lyrics are awful.
Leg. Yeah, it's not great.
That's awful. The lyrics are awful. I did not realize how bad the lyrics were.
Oh yeah, they're bad.
Yeah. Jambeard wants Regal to sing "I Can Only Count to 4" by Psycho Stick. I'm not familiar with Psycho Stick.
There's multiple Psycho Stick requests because Tiffany got one too.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
1, 2, 5, 4. Me count so poor. Gonna count now. 1, I can count to 1. 2, I can count to 2. 3, I can count to 3. 4, I can't count no more. What comes after 1? 2, what comes after 2? 3, what comes after 3? 4. I can only count to 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 4. None of these are very good lyrics. So I'm going to stop here.
I'll save that one for later. Darby Allen singing the theme to Reading Rainbow is requested by Electric Mayhem.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. A Malachi Black. I can go anywhere. And Fred's to know and ways to grow. Brody King. I can be anything. Take a look. It's in a book. Buddy Matthews. Brody King.
Okay, that's good. Enough of that. Lord Kev wants Paul Pawlowski to explain the fall of Anakin. He's a boy, Tatooine, and he likes pod racing. He says now that's pod racing, and he races the pods. But he's very annoying, and he built C-3PO. But Qui-Gon Jinn thinks he's got the midichlorians, which is some bullshit they made up for the prequel trilogy. That was never a thing. Luke didn't have midichlorians, but Anakin does, I guess. And anyway, so then he grows up and he becomes a terrible actor. And well, he was bad in the first movie, but much worse in the second one. Anyway, then he becomes a brooding teenager, and he falls in love with a woman who's like 10 years older than him. It's kind of creepy. But anyway, they fall in love because of sand that gets everywhere. I'm not really sure, but anyway, then he turns bad. He falls under the influence of the evil Senator Palpatine, who's the Emperor in the other trilogy, don't you know? And anyway, then he goes crazy and kills a bunch of kids for no reason, and then Obi-Wan has the high ground, and he turns to lava. What?
That's how you solve for your partner, just in case you're wondering. Attack you in a hoodie. Nothing.
Nope. So do you want to do a Tiffany, and then I'll do Gallus?
You know what day it is. It's undeniably, indisputably, unquestionably, indubitably, undebatably, incontestably, unequivocally, irrefutably, unmistakably Tuesday. Tell me what's the day that comes after Monday? Tuesday. Tell me what's the day that comes before Wednesday? Tuesday. Tell me what's the day that's furthest from Saturday? Tuesday. What's the day that comes once a week? It's Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. No obligations that affect me significantly. Let's hear it for Tuesday. Tuesday. I like Tuesday. I like today, which is Tuesday. Tuesday. Toodles. Nailed
it. Gallus singing the SpongeBob theme as requested by Jam Beard.
He lives in a pineapple under the sea. SpongeBob SquarePants, observant in yellow in Paris is he. SpongeBob SquarePants, a nautical numpsite. Be something you wish. SpongeBob SquarePants, drop on the deck and flop like a fish. SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's good. Okay. Darby Allin singing It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood by Mr. Rogers. This is requested by Vicky L., who has her daughter here to meet us tonight.
Oh my goodness! I hope I didn't sour today.
I hope I didn't scream too much, Vicky and Vicky's daughter. Okay. Here we go.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be Malachi Black? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood. A neighborly day for a beauty. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be Brody King? I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. Let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor, Julia Hart?
Okay, that's that. Kate reads the beginning scroll of Star Wars. Is requested by Ricardo.
Just me?
Yeah, Kate.
Me is me.
I mean, Tiffany, almost sure.
It is a period of civil war. Rebel spaceships striking from a hidden base have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, and space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. But then they had a Tiffany epiphany. They pursued the Empire's sinister agent, Princess Leia, races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. Empire. Toodles.
Vicky also requested Can You Picture That by Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Hell yeah.
From
Greatest band of all time.
Darby Allin singing that was so worth another $5. Love you, Kate, Alex. Fightful rocks. Smile, Alex. I'll try. Okay, but not as Darby Allin, because he doesn't.
No.
Everybody's lover, everybody's brother. I want to be your lifetime friend. Crazy as a rocket, nothing in my pocket. I keep it at the rainbow's end. I never think of money. I think of milk and honey, grinning like a Cheshire cat. I focus on the pleasure, something I can treasure. Can you picture that? Malachi Black. Can you picture that? Brody King. Let me take your picture, add it to the mixture. There it is, I got you now. Really nothing to it. Anyone can do it. It's easy and we all know how. Now begins the changing, mental rearranging. Nothing's really where it's at. Malachi Black.
Okay, and finally,
With
Tom LaValle wants Tony D to read Red's parole speech from Shawshank Redemption.
Rehabilitated. Well, now let me see. You know, I don't have any idea what that means. I know what you think it means. To me, it's just a made-up word. A politician's word. So the young fellas like yourself can wear a suit and a tie and have a job. What do you really want to know? Am I sorry for what I did? There's not a day that goes by I don't feel regret. Not because I'm in here or because you think I should. I look back on the way I was then, a young, stupid kid who committed that terrible crime. I want to talk to him. I want to try and talk some sense to him, tell him the way things are, but I can't. That kid's long gone, and this old man is all that's left. I got to live with that. Rehabilitated, just a bullshit word. So you go out and stamp your form, sonny, and stop wasting my time. Because to tell you the truth, I don't really give a shit.
There you go. Oh yeah, hey Darby, if you like my Darby impression, I'm sure you'll also love him being interviewed for real by SRS on Fightful tomorrow. Now available
That's correct,
on Fightful
yeah.
Select. Hey, also Sunday's a crazy day because they're doing this battleground
Alex,
thing.
We've got a wild weekend.
We got a wild weekend. We're gonna do Sands of Blind about Crown Jewel. We're gonna do that on or Night of Champions, because not Crown Jewel this time. This time it's Night of Champions, but it's basically always Sands of Time. But this one's Sands of Blind, where I don't watch the show because I have scruples, and Kate does watch the show because she
I have no morals whatsoever.
She gave that up long ago.
I sold out.
So she's going to watch the show, and I'm not. And I'm going to abstain from all things social media, so I won't know what the hell's going on. And then she's going to lie to me about what happened on the show 3 times while doing the thing. And that's going to be on Saturday at some point in the evening.
So Alex has to find the lies amongst
I have to find the lies.
recap.
I have to pick them out. Last time I did pretty well for myself. We'll see how it works out this
You got
time.
all 3 of them.
Now Sunday's a crazy day because all this Double or Nothing is happening at the same time as Battleground for NXT. We all know Battleground's definitely ending earlier than Double or Nothing. So as soon as Battleground ends, we are going to do a beat the clock, try and review the whole show. We're going to try and review the whole show in 30 minutes while watching the main event of Double or Nothing.
Correct.
And let's be honest, probably 2 or 3 other matches because it'll probably go a full 2 hours longer than Battleground does.
Correct.
So yeah, anyway, on this channel, we're going to review Battleground while watching crazy stuff happening in AEW Double or Nothing. That's going to be a crazy show. And then Tune Over to Fightful Select, where you will hear us review Double or Nothing. So
Double or Muffin. You'll
Double
also
or
have an
Muffin.
Impact post show on Saturday, I believe.
Yes.
And we'll have our usual Friday routine as well. So 5 post shows in 72 hours. Oh, wah wah. It's all a bunch of
Jimmy says,
billionaires.
of course, Kate has no morals. She's a Yankees fan. Anyway, that's it
I'm
for
an
today.
Astros fan.
Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you all for being here. In 2 weeks, I will not be here. I will be on vacation with my family. I don't know what
So
Kate's going
weird.
to do. I know it's going to be crazy. I don't know what Kate's got to find somebody who can do impressions, I guess, to fill in for me.
I feel like the natural person to have in place of either of us for this show is Reg. And I don't think Reg is going to be like, I have a great William Regal in the can. Like, but we'll see what we can do.
Oh man, making Reg watch a terrible episode of NXT and then come on and talk about it. I'm gonna have to watch that. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, anyway.
Sour Grapsity would be.
Sour Grapsity, finally, without me being involved.
No, that feels wrong. We'll figure something out though.
We'll see you all next week for another round of this.
Yes.
Whatever this is. And
But we'll see you before that. Because we'll see you for the
many times.
Battleground review.
You'll see many times. Yes. Anyway.
Leave a thumbs up. We love you. Bye.
Keep cool, gabagools.